everyone. My name is Pauline Dugald, and this is Art Diversion. This is another episode of Reluctant Hero podcast that I'm doing just by myself. Usually I have guests on the show, but this time I'm going to just talk to you creatives about a certain subject that has been very interesting for me to delve into and to find out more about. And this subject is branding. I have been creating my own brand for quite some time, running my own business, and also, of course, learning more and more as I go along. And one of the things that I have discovered about what I do and what the branding is about for the creative specifically is that brand for creatives is their authentic self-expression. So your personal authentic truth, your personal authentic self-expression is your brand. Your brand moves your business because your business is, as a creative, it is an extension of you. It is it is a vehicle for you to create your art and then spread it into the world and then hopefully monetize it so that you can continue creating more. And there's a very important thing here to notice. In order to make more art, you have to sell your existing art, which means you need to be more efficient with marketing, more efficient with branding, and more efficient with understanding who you are truly, what motivates you, what values are your own, so that you can be truly, completely aligned with that authenticity. So when I started thinking of all the different things that I have been doing with my clients in my own practice of coaching, and I have been coaching for 4 years now and specializing in peak performance, when I started looking at all the aspects that have been showing up with my creative clients specifically, I've noticed a pattern that it all had to do with the self. It all had to do with the removing blocks to that authenticity. And that is what we worked on with many of them. And as a result, my practice actually evolved and started to include different modalities, even more so than before. I originally started very simply focusing on the strategic approach. And as I moved forward, I started including more of a spiritual and meditative practices. One of them is art. I am an artist. I've always been an artist. And art diversion is all about creating diversion for the mind with the art. But now I'm adding even more art approach in order to create this flow of authenticity so that your art can be better. So it's, in a way, it's using art to create more art. And so what does it mean really to have your authentic self-expression express itself and exhibit as a brand? This means that you need to know who you are. You need to know yourself. Know thyself is the ancient slogan, ancient thought, and the motto that a lot of people have been using. But to really know yourself, you have to do shadow work. And that is kind of the part that some people may not like, because you need to look at the aspects of yourself that you have denied, disowned, or repressed in yourself. There are aspects that you don't want to see, that you may be ashamed of, or feeling guilty about having those aspects. You have to really look at all the different parts of you that have been possibly dissociated and are in conflict with each other. Our consciousness has this habit of splitting sometimes in the moment of trauma, in the moment of some kind of a greater challenge that we're not able to solve in the moment. So parts of ourselves sometimes get fragmented, and that creates the dissonance. And another thing that I have to mention about self-expression and creativity and peak performance looks very different for creatives than it does for everybody else. It has taken me years to figure that out through the personal work and through the work with my clients. Peak performance for creatives, for artists, for musicians, for writers, for anyone who is really bringing forth creations of their own through themselves, is a completely different approach than what it looks like for people working 9-to-5 job, for athletes, for people who are on some kind of very structural approach to their work. It is different, and it is totally, you may not like it. Your ego may not like that approach. You may not like it because of how others may view that. Artists and creatives in general, they need a lot of space. I'm not talking about the physical space, although even that is required, because in order to have a studio for an artist, you need space. In order to create dance, you need a dance studio, that is space. For the musician, you need specific atmosphere, specific tools, and the space that provides the acoustic qualities that are not found everywhere. So the space, external space, is important, but also space of time. And that is the aspect that I found a lot of people are resistant to, and I myself have been resistant to that, because the world does not like anybody who takes up time and space. That has been something that we've been programmed. Take up less space, take up less time, produce faster, be more on target, don't waste time, don't be slowing down the progress, don't be the weakest link. All of those messages have been programmed into our subconscious as we've been growing up as children, and then in the work environment as well. And that affects creative process greatly. It's almost like trying to force the river into very, very specific and narrow pathway and not allowing it to deviate even the slightest. It's building the channels, it's digging those roots specifically straight, so that they would be fast, so that it would be controlled. But the thing about creativity is that you can't control it. You can create an aspect of channel for it. You can allow it to flow through you, but you can't really control that chaos. And that is the biggest mistake that a lot of creatives fall into, thinking that they can control their creativity, and fearing that they cannot control it if they open themselves too much. So that is a very important thing to note for the creatives, that in order to be fully yourself, in order to be aligned with your values, you will have to look at the things and aspects of yourself that you may not like. You may need to do things in your life that others may not like. And all of those aspects have to be integrated within, so that they are not blocking creativity. Essentially, it's removing blocks to yourself, removing blocks to your creativity. So that is my thought and a message today for anybody who considers themselves a creative, for anybody who is trying to make a business based on their skills, talents, and gifts. If you are on this path, it is a path towards realizing your mission and purpose. You will not really fully understand it until you get to the end of the road, and much time needs to be passed until that happens. But in the process of moving towards, that is a constant alignment with the target. The target is expressing your mission and purpose to its fullest. The target is expressing yourself and creating authentic art. The process is constantly aligning towards that target so that you can stay on the target. And that means eliminating all the noise from the environment that tells you that art should be this way, it should not be that way, all the shoulds, all the things that other people think about what the art should be, all the opinions, all the words and beliefs that might be out there. So if you are a creative, this message is for you. Work on yourself. Work on eliminating what's in the way. Don't worry about trying to be somebody else, because that will surely misalign you from your values. Trying to be like somebody else or trying to create art that you think others will like is a sure way to fail. It will create inconsistent results, it will create small results, and it will create a lot of frustration. So focus on being true to yourself, focus on understanding yourself, and focus to consistently removing obstacles to that, limiting beliefs, ideas that might be in a way, or anything else of that nature. So that is my message for today. If you want to learn more about this process, I created a mini ebook which is called Maps of Creative Blocks. If you want to start doing that work on removing some aspects, you can download that for free. I will add the link in the description below. And if you want to delve deeper into this subject matter of authentic expression, creativity, authenticity, follow, subscribe, check out my website, follow my podcast where you might find more inspiration. And if you want to work one-on-one, some spots are also available, so that information will also be in the description box below. So that being said, hope you're having a great week. Hope you're creating a lot of great art and consistently believing that it is possible to always remove more blocks and be yourself better and more authentic, more expressed, and as a result, more fulfilled and satisfied. So thank you very much and have a great day, and I will see you next time.